Good evening, everybody. Gloria here from Powerful Potential and Purpose. And I have a special guest with me tonight. We're doing an author spotlight. You know, that's right. Women getting strong. Well, I'm sorry, women standing strong together. So this has been a book that we have been working on for the last 2.5 months. It's only been 2.5 months. Imagine that. It seems like 2.5 years, but that's more about our lives and everything we went through. So we are going to interview Marianne St Clair today, who is one of our fabulous co-authors of this book. So we're going to bring her on and talk a little bit about, the process of writing this book together with 12 women and her particular story and challenges that she faced while she was writing this. So welcome, Marianne.
Hi, Gloria. Good evening. Hi, everyone.
Evening. So I'm really glad you were able to make it tonight. We got Taz and Deborah already saying hello to you out there. So we're glad to have you joining us. So Marianne, we just went through quite the journey together, didn't we?
An amazing journey, a very amazing journey. I did not know what I was signing up for.
You know what? Neither did I.
I know.
Rounding up 12 women. Oh my God. Been a great journey.
Great. Yes.
It's interesting, Marianne, because in the beginning, we all talked about the 12 women that came together. For those of you that don't know about this project yet, the 12 women that came together, we were talking about collaboration. And I don't think any of us really truly understand to the depth of collaboration, but we thought, how wonderful it would be to bring women together, because this is a dream I had, a literal dream, okay, with a message about 5 years ago, because it's time to work together, to not compete, to collaborate. And actually, Marianne, I was just at an event the other night where there was an astrologer, and she talked about these alignments right now and the portal of the 1212, that it is a time for the divine feminine. And I know this is part of your work. Come forward in men and women and to collaborate together to accomplish greater things. So what do you have to say about that, knowing that this is, along with the work that you do out there for women?
Well, the one first thing that comes to mind, Gloria, is that we started this project with no idea that we would have been writing a book together. So when the divine feminine is fully, coming forward, you can listen to your intuition. You can listen to those nudges and those yeses and know when it's a yes. And boy, did I feel the yes in this. And many times along the way, I might have went, I'm getting cold feet or something, but it was always a yes. Lean in, lean in, lean in. So collaboration has been, I could have never did this without the collaboration. Never in a million years without you and the fellow sisters in this book.
No kidding. It really is like birth. Okay. Women that had, right? We can't really do it alone. We have a partner, right? Station cycles. And then when we have to push, we have a team there, whether it's midwives, doctors, nurses, whatever. We have a team to bring that birth, that release into the world. And this is the divine feminine coming forward. She didn't know what she was getting into when she said, I want to have a baby.
Yeah, but think about while that baby is in gestation, there's a lot that goes on that you don't physically have to partake in, these cells coming together and splitting and making happen. And that's what I feel this project has done. It's been, things that I participated in, but there's things that I don't even know that you, Candy, or Deborah or others are doing. And it's just, that's the magic in it to me, is I don't have to be in the doing mode.
That's exactly right. And that's why we do need collaboration more than ever, because so many of us have a dream, we have a desire, we want to get our word out, we want to help other people. We know that our stories will impact somebody, but we don't know how to do all the steps. And like Mary and I were talking just before we went live, all the steps that Candy and I are still doing in the background, even though the very final edit, a matter of fact, for those of you that haven't seen it, hold on. Here's the proof book. This won't be on there. This is the proof book. After all the edits, all the proofreading, we went through this again, 3 of us, and found more. And then Candy went and did the whole layout again with all the edits and sent me the PDF. And guess what, Marianne? There was more. So
I'm sure.
It's crazy. It reminds me of that poster that you see on Facebook sometimes, if you can read this and none of the words are spelled right, but we can read it. You ever see that one?
Yes, and your mind knows what it's saying, even though it's not correct.
And that's exactly what happens when you're working on books. Okay, you knows what's saying. But that also happens, Marianne, when you were writing your story, didn't it?
You know, it was. I started out, and what I thought I was writing isn't what the final process, became after, our coaching and after we got together and after you listened. I would have known the turns that it did and went as deep as it went, so much deeper.
It was amazing to watch your healing process through your story, because no one's going to see the first run except for the people that were editing it in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Audience will never see that. They won't really know that process you went through. So I would like for you to share a little bit about that, because the story went from like victim to this sovereign feminine goddess, okay? And I know that your business is around sovereignty. So first, let's talk about what is sovereignty so the audience knows what you mean by that.
It's in victimhood, you go into all these outside forces that are playing as to why you make decisions. So me as a mom, I have a daughter who has a chronic illness. And so, it's those things start happening. And in victim, you go, well, I need to do this because, or I have to do this, or I should do this. But when you come into this sovereign, it was such a shift even for me during these last 3 weeks, where I got to see where I could make choices. I was choosing to do this. So a sovereign being takes ownership, really decides what is going to happen in their world, why, and they listen to their intuition. So they're really self-governing. They're choosing their own path that feels in alignment with their authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
They're in their power. They're in their
I saw that shift take place for you, because when you first wrote, you were speaking from every single thing graphically that happened as a child.
Chronologically, though, it was more, it was very surface. It was like, this happened at that time, and this is what became of it. And I was like, so even though I've been a coach for many, many years, I found this process to be something that took me to that place that I was new and I wanted to get to. But I got there. So it was a beautiful process.
You definitely got there. And so for those of you listening and those of you still jumping on, we're talking about Marianne's contribution to women standing strong together and her healing journey through her story, which I got to witness firsthand working with her on this. And I have to tell you that if you're thinking of writing a book, okay, that you have a story about, trust me, it is so much more than what you're doing when you first start writing, because when you get somebody like when Mary and I worked together and we did some coaching, I'm not just writing coaching, I'm a coach too. So she knew, she said to me, wow, you tapped into something. I heard an energy behind some words that she used. And that's where the story went. So Marianne, can you explain how that shift took place for you?
Well, I don't know that I can explain everything and how I did. Yeah, in control. Thanks, Taz. How I can interpret it from
what was the aha moment that's, because it switched your entire story?
Yes. So the aha moment was when you got to the bug, and the bug, should I say what it's called?
The no-see-em bugs.
Then, right, no-see-ems. So the no-see-em bugs represented quite a lot of different things in my life and how that kept showing up. So it was, the no-see-ums were like things that we decide we don't want to tell. We don't want to, no-see them. They're there, but you may not recognize them. So when we got to that no-see-um, it was like I had a point. I had a pinpoint, a reference point that weaved the pieces of the story together. And as I kept going back to the no-see-um, I would go in deeper. It would lead me into what wasn't being said or spoken throughout my journey. So I got to go deeper into what was I not saying, what was I not expecting or calling other people out on. And it was really interesting that it took me so deep.
Mm-hmm. So for those of you listening, the no-see-um bugs, maybe you've experienced them, maybe not, but they're those bugs that fly around sometimes, especially at nighttime or when it's damp. You can't see them, but they're picking at you and they're biting on you. And that became very symbolic for Marianne's life. And then you turned this story into such a victorious story that it wasn't even chronological anymore.
No, it went so much into the feeling that I wanted to get into. It went into the beauty that was arising from this experience, and how, it was a traumatic experience, but out of that trauma came this Marianne. Out of that trauma came this woman goddess that can, take ownership and tell people no and see things that are underneath the surface and go, oh my gosh, let's be, fully expressed in, my fuller expression of Marianne.
So let's tell the audience a little bit about what exactly it is you do, okay, as a coach, and how healing through this story now is even going to enhance what you do with others. I cannot imagine it won't.
So it's really about, my work is about women coming into their fuller expression, mentally, physically, ownership of their body, their sensuality, their sexuality, because so many of us, are very repressed in our own bodies. And so what I really help women to do is love their skin that they're in, and really to turn their pain, not be focused on their pains, but really about the pleasures they want to experience in life, and helping them find that within them.
And so now that you got this new insight for yourself, because I saw your healing process, I feel it in your energy, I see it in your aura. How is that going to deepen the work that you do for these women? Have you thought that through yet? Have you even had a chance to think?
Part of it I have, and I don't think I've even grasped to the fullest, Yeah. So much of the time I thought one thing, but my work as a muse, which really is my own energy, as it shifts, it deepens the work. And you know this, Gloria, because you've been on this healing journey for so long, and you helped me go into that alchemy within myself. I can take other women, and groups of women, and really explore their lives, so that it's like the butterfly, going through the stages of the coming out of the cocoon and then spreading her wings. And so it's not just a one-time thing, because I've been on this for 20 years. But having somebody like myself or Gloria, we've done a lot of work. So you don't have to do all the steps that we've done. You can take somebody and come into, working with somebody like myself, and tap into something energetically quickly that you don't know was
So
there.
Marianne, if anybody out there is listening and they want to talk to you more about this, how can they reach you?
So on Facebook, it's Marianne St Clair.
And do you have an email or a website?
I do. So I have Marianne, M-A-R on the screen, stclair.com is my website. You can, there's a box on there to schedule a call with me, and we can get
down
on.
there, MarianneStClair.com.
That's it. That's it. Thank you, Gloria.
I love this new feature, by the way. This
it's great. It's great. And you can contact me. There's a phone on there. Also, you can schedule a call, and I would love to just see, where you are. Does this speak to you? Are you wanting to come into your power, your voice, your owning your own authentic, that is back there, but you keep going into victim? And it's time to enjoy life. It's time to experience more pleasure. Go on those trips. Enjoy, your family, not from a place of you have to, but because you want to.
Absolutely. And I really think the energy for 2020 is bringing that to us.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. Could not agree more, because I feel it. And I know that this book is just so timely that, it's birthing right at the end of this decade. And we're going into the divine feminine. We're going forward as standing strong together. I am excited.
And it's really been interesting, Marianne, for those of you that are watching, and I know we got some of our co-authors watching too. Every deadline, pinnacle point of this book was divinely aligned with different, and I didn't plan it this way. Like, I would set the dates, but then the dates would come up and all of a sudden I would find out about different planetary things happening, different, astrological stuff. It was amazing because I do follow my intuition,
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing to see how at these points that we picked, or something threw us off just a day or two, and then we did the numerology on it. It was perfectly divine. And this is what we mean by connecting with that. Oh, here's Candy, our graphic designer, stepping into fabulous for 20.
Absolutely.
This is the amazing graphic designer and layout person, and the one who has to put up with me with every change that comes along. But you know what? We talked about earlier about women coming together and supporting each other. And that is what we have been learning to do. Has it been easy, Marianne?
Parts of it really have, Gloria. Parts of it really have, because, it's a trust and a sisterhood. And if you don't have that out there, if you do not have fellow sisters, I encourage you, because that's been wonderful. Meeting the deadlines, going deeper, getting over some fears, letting go of some fears. That stuff has been a little bit, but the process has been really great.
Yeah, and I found, for me personally, and I know Candy and I were talking about this, until recently, some of the stories she didn't go into as deep as I did. And now she's getting to do that. And she's getting to understand things differently too. Because when I was in there with you guys, like, a lot of people are editing, including Candy and stuff, but when I was in there working with you guys, and then when I got the book, okay, it takes on a whole different way of absorbing material versus being in the working mode.
Yeah, but also it's on the physical plane. It's so much different when you're holding it than when it's just, in cyberspace.
That definitely that. And then the other piece was not going into it from the working space as, the publisher and but sitting here as the reader, okay? The people that are going to buy this book and go, oh my gosh, now I understand this person even more.
So can we touch on that just a minute? Because absolutely. I don't think we kind of gave the overview of the book and what the book potentially has for the women reading it or the men reading it.
And men have actually reviewed it and come
Yeah,
back with really good insights, and they want to co-author a book. So guys, get in touch with me. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, Marianne, go ahead, touch upon it.
But I really want you to get this book first and foremost. But it's not just a book. There's an alchemy that's going to take place within each story, and each story is in there for a reason, and it touches on a different part of your life. Like mine is a lot on sensuality and sexuality in the body and reclaiming the fullness of that, but somebody else's is about their voice. So it's all these different parts of you that this book can help create a healing journey for you. So I
Absolutely.
encourage you
And
to get it.
absolutely. And the interesting thing is we have 12 stories, and they're almost grouped into like 3 different topics. We might have 4 people per se, interestingly enough, that have gone through some kind of abuse at an early stage in life. Yet
Mm-hmm.
the story is completely different, completely different. And then we might have 4 people that have gone through losses and grief, and their stories are completely different. Okay. So it was really fascinating to read these and work with all the women and see that they can have similar life experiences, process them completely different, work through the stuff in slightly different ways, and have outcomes that have led them on their path and journey to what they do today, how they gift the world, their services, their heart, their love. And each one rose to another level of healing just by contributing through all this. It has really, really been an amazing process. And the alchemy that Marianne talks about, it's taking all that hard stuff, okay, all that dense stuff like lead. When you talk about an alchemist taking lead and converting it to gold. I actually have a little conclusion you haven't seen yet, Marianne, about alchemy here.
Oh, I
Because
can't wait.
so similar to what you just said, after reading all these stories, I said to Candy, I have to tell the story about the soul alchemy, because that's exactly what I saw. That gold, that liquid gold, is with each and every one of you. And each and every one of you showed that piece taking place in your story. So it was amazing to watch this transpire. So yes, men and women need to be reading this book. I'm going to read a little bit off the back cover, Marianne, okay?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Life will always bring us experiences and uncertainty. Can we all agree upon that? Risk, losses, never planned, right? Never found, and emotional upheaval that defines what it means to be vulnerable, to break down, and to break through. It is here we find the courage. These women had amazing courage to rise up and become our authentic self and to live our purpose. This is just a little sample of the back of the cover. This is exactly what took place here. Candy has something to say. In putting the book together, I was amazed at the similarities between the stories and the levels of healing that each woman went through to achieve their authenticity. Yeah. And we are so fortunate, Candy and I, because we got privy to all of this. And soon all of you, including all of the authors, will get to really sit back, hold this book in your hands, celebrate your story, celebrate your sisterhood story. Because I'm going to tell you something, Marianne. When you start reading your story again, you're going to read it from a different perspective than writing it.
Yeah.
And sit and read everyone's story. And like you said, there's a purpose for each person. Even the layout of the stories takes you through a certain cycle of life. It's amazing.
That's what I love that you just said right there is I feel that even though someone gains their voice, they may gain their voice towards speaking up, but then somebody else is gaining their voice at setting a boundary. So there's all these different nuances that I think are so valuable for each of us, men and women.
Absolutely. And so if anybody is looking to chat with Marianne about the work she does, here's her website again, mariannestclair.com. And how do you describe what it is you do, like as a title? Is it I know you said muse, I know you said coach. Do you have a specific?
I feel like that's still coming as I'm merging into this, because I feel like it's the unified. I feel like the coaching is the masculine and the musing is the feminine. And so it's this integrated full, more than just, coaching someone through a process and then musing, giving them that inspiration. So it's both sides. It's working with the full person, the creative side plus the more structured side.
And I could totally see, knowing your story now, why, and I'm not going to tell you guys, you got to go read it, why you chose, or why this work chose you to help people get more in touch with these wonderful ways of expressing our pleasure, our desires, our feelings, all of this in life. It makes perfect sense that you are the expert in that because you lived it.
Yeah.
That experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the being confident in wearing bold colors, or being able to, sing if you want to sing, or do burlesque, or, but fully coming into how we want to express ourselves, how we want to show up in the world. So I love
something to
it
me the other day, Marianne's been going through some life stuff, right? We all do. She's got a daughter that we've been praying for her health, her mother. And Marianne's been running back and forth between 2 states. So she didn't make excuses that she couldn't do something. She was devoted to this and she completed it in the midst of all this family stuff. But you said something to me the other day that I found so powerful and so healing, that here you are taking care of your grandsons. And there was a time you said you would have felt one way versus the way you feel now. You want to share that with the audience?
Yeah, and that goes from that victimhood. I used to say, gosh, when you get better, I'll get my life back. Which is it sounds selfish, but when I was in that place of more victimhood, it was like this was happening to me. Then now the same scenario came, but I had 2 grandsons to take care of. I just relaxed into it. It wasn't about doing. I had to make something happen. I had to be fully, going and doing. I could sit there and I could relax into my feminine, know everything was being taken care of. I could choose to be right where I was and loving my grandsons and letting my daughter know that she could take this time to heal. And so it was a very empowering, it was a calm, I felt just blessed and gratitude that I got to spend this time with my grandkids, that I got to love my daughter well again and be present for people rather than, just, oh my gosh, I gotta get everything done and I gotta go. And, there's so many women who are living in that burnout stage and they're thinking that they've got to make everything happen and bust through and get their Christmas, especially. I'm going to give this a timeline that we're on, before Christmas, but there's so much stress that happens right now. And what I feel like is if we can take and go, look at this beauty around me. Look at life. Look at my family. I just want to sit and be present with the love that's right around me. And so
I love that.
That's where I've been. And it's been, feeling that compared to feeling like there's something that was missing. It's like I could just really relax into my heart was full, my soul was full, and, just come from that place at every moment, from fullness versus empty.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So I know there's some people out there. If you have questions or if you're on the replay and you have questions, by all means, drop them down and Marianne and myself will come back later on. I put her website up here again if you want to talk to her about the work that she does to help you embody your feelings again, your pleasure zones, okay? Your
And it's your happiness. It's your happiness,
your joy.
Yeah, because so many of us have lost that. We're going through the motions of life, and I used to say, well, what about me? Or, if this was it, I really didn't want to live it anymore. And I'm sure there's some women on here that are kind of at that place. They're just in the doing for everybody else. So I can help you fill your cup back up, teach you how to do that, and how to live from a place of fullness rather than empty. So also Facebook, they can reach me on Facebook, Marianne St Clair.
Marianne St Clair. So if anybody out there has been listening to this and you're getting inspired by Marianne and this book and all these stories, well, just know that even when you read it, you're going to go through a healing journey. I can guarantee it because I know it did it for me in reading these women's stories. And then one of the things that I also want to bring up is I have been part of collaborative books, over the years. Thanks, Taz. Ladies fully finding their inner true goddess.
Thank you, Taz.
Absolutely. So, a lot of collaborative books give you a page, give you 100 words, give you a small amount to put your message out. And I've done them. I've done lots of them. But when I was being guided to do this, Marianne, I was heard. It had to be short stories, up to 3,500 words, which is quite a bit of storytelling out there. So for those of you that feel like you have something to contribute, but maybe not a whole book, or maybe you're not ready for a whole book, well, we can help put 10 to 12 people together that we can collaborate on and get your message out too. Because you know what? Everybody has a story and everybody's going to touch one person's life. And, I remember a time, Marianne, I don't know if you have, where I thought, oh, my story's been told. I read that in somebody's book 10 years ago. And I've had people say that to me too. Oh, my story's already been told. Did you feel that way when you were getting ready to write yours?
No, I didn't go there. I didn't go there because, just every coach is different. Every person is different. And we do have something to contribute. Everybody does.
Absolutely.
And, whether or not that's, can I show the painting for those who want to enter? Oops, there we go.
That's so beautiful.
Want to get the book on launch day, you have a possibility of that winning that painting.
But that's right, because we're going to have a contest. We're having a contest. So if you come over to our fan page, Powerful Potential and Purpose, on December 29th, which is our release date, every couple hours, we're going to be in there with different authors and not just our authors, okay, but people that have reviewed the book that are authors. They're coming in to talk too, so you're going to get to meet other people. But we're going to have a contest. And once you know the rules, you're going to learn about all the prizes. Marianne's is only one of about how many so far?
It's probably
a dozen.
I would say a dozen to, right at a dozen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how about that? 12 women, 12 prizes.
Oh my gosh, how'd that happen? So Taz says each account had similarity, but each is unique. Taz, it was really interesting when I got the proof and began to read all of these stories, okay? Not knowing that they were all going to use very similar types of words even. It was really pretty. We did not talk about this at all prior to them writing their stories. So it's interesting how this all got aligned by the divine to bring exactly the right people together in the right places, circumstances, right? Opportunities, which has been my mantra for years, to create women standing strong together. So December 29th, go mark your calendar right now so you don't forget. We're going to have a contest where you can win prizes. Okay. And you saw Marianne, put your painting up. Marianne made this painting. Put your painting up again. Isn't that gorgeous?
Women standing strong.
Specifically for this event. So we have several different artists that are part of our group that'll be donating. Okay, I'm donating and a couple of others. So you have an opportunity, but you have to come on our fan page, Powerful Potential and Purpose. And if you're interested in working with us, okay, in the publishing company, we do collaborative books and we do solo books. And we are writing contracts as I speak to help other people get their word out. Because you know what? Somebody needs your story. They need yours.
Yes.
Because it will relate to you, to your situations, your energy, your approach, and the timing will be right when it's in their hands.
And that's the way the divine lines it up. It's that divine appointment. So don't have anything. Thank you, Candy. Gloria, how about putting the link down in the comments for the fan page? Could we do that?
I'll have to do it after I get off the live.
Right.
Yeah.
But that would be good, easy for them to access.
Here, maybe you can go get the Facebook page and put it down here so people know where to go on December 29th, so they can, be part of this exciting release date and maybe win a prize. Okay. And then you're going to see that all our book ambassadors, I know some of you are watching, you're going to get a beautiful banner made with your beautiful testimony, your review. Matter of fact, some of them are in the book already. The praise for women standing strong has been just really heartwarming. So they're also going to get to partake in all this. Okay. She says that she loves the painting. And
thank you.
And you ladies, how does she say her name? Jalen? Jalen. I have to say that I know you read a lot of these stories because you were one of our book ambassadors. And I really want to thank you for your amazing support, because that helps keep the energy going for everybody. And in the process of reading these reviews that a lot of our book ambassadors did to help us with this pre-launch, it kept us going in our rewrites. It was very important to hear the feedback that the book ambassadors were giving us, because sometimes we doubt our stories. Sometimes we doubt what we're putting out there, and it did encourage people. So I want to thank you and all the other book ambassadors that did take part in our pre-launch. So thank you. Thank you. Okay, and Candy put up the link, so it is down there right now. So you can go click on that, and you can go become a fan. So what happens when you're like in this constant mode of reading, you overlook things. You can become a fan of Powerful Potential and Purpose, okay? And be
Which
there.
I love what it says there. We get the long one. Yes, I did. And it's look at what it says. Unlock your soul potential. Mm-hmm. And I gotta tell you, if anything is gonna do that, this book is. But I gotta tell you, I gotta give you a kudos there, Gloria. It has been a pleasure to work with Gloria. It has been, being a strong woman, and sometimes I can come across strong. And I know my fellow Gloria can come across strong, but going through this kind of work, when the masculine and the feminine is integrated, we come across in our, in our full, well, not full because I'm still evolving, but unlocking that soul's potential. And, Gloria, it has been, and Candy, it has been a pleasure to work with both of you ladies. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you again for taking the time out tonight, Marianne, to be part in our author spotlight. It's been wonderful working with you and all the women, because, like you said, you're still growing and healing. We are too. Yeah. We are too. And even doing this, Candy and I realized that we've had so many years combined together already in the writing and publishing, author, graphic design industry, that all this did for us too was show us that our skill sets really needed to be combined. Yeah. And because we got such wonderful feedback like you, Marianne, and other people that have given testimonials to us about this process, we're taking it further. We're seeing the soul alchemy part of this that actually helped heal us through this process, and on a totally more focused path and journey. Instead of, you know, doing a book once every 2 years, which we have done, or making oracle cards, which we have done, we're doing this now as our focus to help other people bring their message, their heart-centered stories out to the world. And so, Marianne, I want to
next level.
I want to thank you. I want to Candy, my partner there, who has been patient with me. Like you said, that masculine energy can come through. Yeah, I'm a powerhouse, especially when I get
Thank
focused.
goodness. But thank
It's
goodness.
like, we got to get it done.
Thank goodness, or it wouldn't have gotten done. So,
Exactly.
you know, thank goodness.
And that's exactly like we said, when we're birthing a baby, that doctor says you got to push one more time. That midwife says, now. Well, that was that was me. Now. Okay.
And I celebrate you in that.
We've got a beautiful, beautiful, heart-centered, loving book coming out for the new year that is going to shift perspective for people, touch their hearts, make them cry, relate to these stories, and I guarantee it's going to make you take a step forward in your life. Marianne, thank you for coming on. I'm going to put your website up here one more time if you guys want to reach Marianne. There you go, Marianne St Clair.
Thank
If
you.
you're interested in working along with me and Candy, then my email's up here somewhere. Here it goes. You can contact me and we could talk about publishing your book, okay? And we've got, Candy says, roar, you're a Leo. Yes, I'm a Leo and I'm a Sag rising and I've got a lot of fire in my chart. So the good thing about all that is I'm a get her done kind of gal. So
2.5 months from an idea to now it's in the concrete form. And that's...
Well, you know what's interesting? You say 2.5 months, but I know it's been 5 years.
Yeah.
So kind of like when people think, oh, they see something coming into something tangible, it only took 2.5 months. Marianne and all those listening, it took 5 years. And Bonnie knows because she was part of this project 5 years ago. So when the dream came and I was being told by divine guidance what to do, there was a different group of women that it started out with, and it didn't go the distance. And then a year later, there was a second group that it didn't go anywhere near the distance. And so then I had to fine tune a lot of different things and listen. I'm clairaudient. I listen to divine guidance. When is the exact alignment? And because my mantra, and you guys are welcome to write this down and use it in your life, because my mantra has been, I attract and align and put myself in this frequency, all the right people, here they go, all the right people, places, circumstances, resources, finances, opportunities. I mean, I have this whole list of things. Everything had to be aligned, everything. Mm-hmm. That's what brought all the right people together for this book. 5 years in the making, Marianne.
Well, I must be a part of it. Thank you.
And I'm glad you are. So thank you, everybody that's been a part of this tonight, a part of the book, a part of the process in the background. We have people in the background that have been proofreading this like so many times, you have no idea. There's been a lot of teamwork here. So thank you for stopping by, saying hello with all your comments. And one last time, be with us on December 29th. And I think, Candy, am I allowed to say this? We might have the opportunity to pre-order the Kindle version sooner. So I think as long as that all goes through with Amazon, that part might be available maybe even by Christmas to pre-order. So we'll keep you posted though, okay? Thanks everybody.
Thank you.
See you soon in a couple of days with one of our other authors. Thanks, Marianne.
Thank you, Gloria.
Oh, we got another comment here. Let's see. Hope to see both of you beautiful inside ladies. I hope to see you too. Oh, and while I have you guys here before we leave, I just want to let you know 5 of our authors are actually going to be doing a presentation up in Delaware on January 25th, okay? And this information's on our fan page too. So 5 authors have come together to do a presentation up there. So you want
Delaware or Pennsylvania? I thought it was Pennsylvania.
Well, we got, yeah, even if it's all, no, it got switched. The venue got switched.
Okay.
Which is only actually across the border. Okay. One of the authors, she found a location that she felt was just, we needed it. She's like, we need this, location, bigger location. And then the other lady that helped with organizing it all, they both went to see the place, and they made an executive decision, imagine, without even talking to me, Marianne.
Oh,
They made an executive decision to surprise us, have another venue where we can host more people there, because the other place was a little smaller. So now our capacity is a little bigger.
nice.
We're excited about that, but we still have the original venue, Paris Study, co-hosting us and promoting for us, and they are a nonprofit, so we will be donating to them as well, a percentage of our proceeds. So you see, there's a lot of collaboration happening when you're in the divine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I know it's going to be a spectacular event, and I know that so much more is going to come forward when you're actually in the presence of these amazing women. So buy your ticket.
That's right. Buy your ticket. Go to Facebook on our fan page. I'll put that up one more time. And then stay tuned, because, Marianne lives in Florida. I live in Florida. Nanette lives in Florida. Brenda lives in Florida. Christine and Jacqueline live in Florida. Do you think we're going to be doing something in Florida?
Yeah. A couple places in Florida. Florida's a big state. We could do South, Central, and up north.
Absolutely. So watch out for these Florida gals. They're coming to get you.
Can't wait.
Okay, everybody. Good night. Thanks again, Marianne.
Good night.